in a part of the ocean where, we're not that worried about it. We're not really in a warlike situation. We're kind of maybe our radio men are kind of picking off a signal, and we're kind of getting some intelligence from a country, trying to communicate something like that. But, if we go into some of those areas where we're, not really supposed to be or something like that, that's when we have to get ultra quiet, and we kind of tune all of the motors on the pumps and everything to the right frequency to be completely silent. We go into ultra silent mode, that kind of a thing. And that's really how you would get detected, is if you make noise or, turn on the wrong pump or drop a wrench or, something like that.
So when you're tuning them to the perfect, what do you say? Tuning them to the perfect frequency.
Yeah.
Does it depend on the frequency? Does it depend on how deep you are? Or does it just, once you go underwater, it's all the same no matter how deep you are underwater?
Yeah, I think it's all the same. I mean, basically what most submarines do is they go do sound trials. And there's a couple of underwater radio towers, basically, that, they're just out there. You don't know about them, but there's these big radio towers underwater, almost like a goalpost in football or something. And the submarine just drives through them, kind of turning off certain pumps, turning on certain equipment, turning off certain equipment, and driving through. And then that gets a real baseline of what your submarine sounds like in different conditions. And you kind of understand what every single, running equipment, its underwater sound signature is. And then you kind of go and tweak and do maintenance and things like that to get it to where we're confident that we're silent. And we sort of have settings on some of the pumps that we can go into a kind of a silent setting, and run it at that frequency that we know is the least detectable underwater. I don't think it matters much about the depth you're at, though.
That is so interesting. So the next question I had for you is, what is the longest amount of time that you were submerged?
Yeah, as far as I can remember, it was 53 days. I remember one period of time when we were under.
Can you imagine that? 53 days.
Yeah, 53 days underwater. There was definitely longer periods of time just out at sea where, we weren't pulling into port. But just without seeing without getting out and breathing the fresh air, that was the longest, I think. And I think even during that time, I can't remember if it was that time or another time. It kind of blends together now. But there was one time when we were under for a long time. And then and I think we were over in, off the coast of China somewhere we weren't really supposed to be, and somebody got sick and they actually had to medevac them off. So we kind of had to, get out to where we're in international waters and could surface, and a helicopter came and took this guy off, before we could go back into the spec op mission that we were on. And since we were opening up the hatches, we surfaced, open up the hatches, get this guy off on a helicopter. The captain actually said, "Hey, anybody who wants to go stand under the hatch and look up at the sky can." Almost everybody got in line to go and stand under the hatch and look up, and there it is, try to get a breath of fresh air and then move on, keep on. And that was it. I mean, that's how kind of deprived you are of just the real life situation.
Oh, I can't even imagine.